On a Friday morning in April 2023, a Ring camera on Maple Street in East Haven, Connecticut recorded a man in an orange safety vest walking up to a front door with a package in his hand, looking like a delivery worker. When the homeowner opened the door, the man said the package belonged there and held it out. As soon as the door was unlocked, he reached to his right, pulled out a handgun, and tried to force his way inside, but the homeowner shoved him back and slammed the door.
This is for you.
The suspect ran from the porch to a Dodge Ram pickup waiting in the street. Police later identified him as 37-year-old Xavier Otero of Hartford and the driver as 26-year-old Jean Carrasquillo Torres. East Haven police released the video and still images, and tips came in within hours. Officers found Otero at a family member's home in Hartford, while Carrasquillo Torres was arrested after investigators watched him get into the truck during surveillance. Detectives said Otero had posed as a delivery worker as part of a plan to invade the home, zip-tie the occupants, and rob them. A search warrant on the truck and a connected residence turned up 1.1 kilograms of suspected fentanyl and a bag of heavy-duty zip ties. During the same investigation, police said they learned of a second planned home invasion in Manchester and later arrested a third suspect, 31-year-old Juan Rodriguez Rivera, who they accused of coordinating the plot. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in Lusaka when a CCTV camera outside a small shop started recording something its owner wouldn't forget. The camera looked over the front of Grocery Cart, a store on Sheki Sheki Road, where cars and pedestrians passed like any other day. In the footage, a man in light-colored traditional clothing parked near the entrance. He got out carrying a bag and walked into the shop, leaving his vehicle just a few steps from the door. For a while, nothing happened. The cars stayed where they were, and the doorway stayed empty. Then the man reappeared. He stepped back out of the store with his bag in hand and headed toward his vehicle, focused on getting back inside and leaving. As he reached for the driver's door, another car that had been parked nearby suddenly came to life. A passenger leaned out, grabbed at the man's bag, and tried to rip it away. What started as a normal exit from a shop turned into a struggle in the middle of the parking area. The man fought back, holding onto his bag as the attacker refused to let go. A weapon became visible in the suspect's hand, and the car lurched forward. In the chaos, the victim lost his footing and went down hard on the pavement as the vehicle sped away with his belongings. Later, the clip was shared online with a warning. Thieves had ambushed the owner of Grocery Cart on Sheki Sheki Road in broad daylight, and people were urged to be careful, especially if they were carrying laptops or other valuables. No public update has named the suspects or confirmed any arrests. All that's left for viewers is a clear video of how fast a normal shopping trip can turn into a violent robbery on an ordinary street. In the early morning hours of March 27, 2025, Lake Michigan Drive in Allendale Township, Michigan, was mostly dark and empty. Just before 1 a.m., a business intrusion alarm at Peppino's Pizzeria and Sports Grill sent deputies from the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office to the strip of restaurants near 48th Avenue. When they arrived, they realized it wasn't just one break-in. Along the same stretch of road, a Jet's Pizza at 513-5 Lake Michigan Drive and a Dairy Queen at 503-5 Lake Michigan Drive also showed signs of forced entry. Security footage from Jet's Pizza showed how one of the break-ins started. A man walked up to the enclosed patio carrying a crowbar. He went straight for the glass patio door, raised the tool, and smashed through the glass before stepping inside and heading for the counter. Video from all three restaurants showed the same suspect moving through the empty interiors. According to investigators, he pried open cash registers at each business and took money from inside. In every clip, he appeared to be working alone. A K-9 team from the Wyoming Police Department searched the area, but by the time officers arrived, the burglar was gone. Later, the sheriff's office released still images pulled from the surveillance footage and asked the public to help identify him. As of the latest reports, deputies have not named a suspect and have not revealed how much cash was taken. What they do have is a clear record of one man hitting 3 eateries on the same road in the same night, using a crowbar to get in while the township slept. It started as one of those nothing moments parents barely think about. In April 2021, in the Steel Creek area of Charlotte, a 13-year-old stepped outside his house to walk the family dog while his parents stayed inside. Their Ring camera caught what happened next. A silver BMW rolled into frame, slowed right in front of the yard, and stopped. The driver didn't sit there and think it over. He opened the door, got out, and walked straight toward the boy.
Honey! Do you live here already, Papa?
Huh?
Oh, do you live here already?
He just stands there while this stranger closes in and starts talking, asking if he lives around there. It's the exact kind of situation parents warn their kids about, and the boy looks like he doesn't quite know what to do. The spell breaks when the front door opens again. His father steps out, sees a grown man focused on his son, and immediately steps between them. He demands to know why this guy is talking to a child in his yard. Put on the spot, the man says he was wondering about airplane noise in the area.
What you got to ask my son?
Oh, I was wondering about the airplane noise.
Talking to my son and he ain't got no adult out here. That's kind of creepy.
Steel Creek does sit under the Charlotte-Douglas flight path, but the explanation sounds thin when you watch who he chose to ask. The dad calls the whole thing creepy and holds his ground until the man backs off, returns to the BMW, and drives away. Later, the family shared the footage with local news and neighbors. No one has publicly confirmed who he was or why he stopped there at all. In August 2019, in Troy, Michigan, a woman woke up in her bedroom to something she never expected. She felt a hand on her leg, opened her eyes, and saw a stranger standing over the bed. She screamed, and he ran. Later, she and her family checked their security system. The footage showed the man already inside, moving through the house before he reached the bedroom. Police believed he came in through a basement door. He didn't take anything, and nobody knew who he was. 2 months later in Rochester Hills, another homeowner reviewed his cameras. A man could be seen walking across the yard, looking through windows and even climbing onto a hot tub to peer inside before walking away. The video went to investigators, who started to see the same face. On January 31st, 2020, Bloomfield Township Police got a call from South Spinning Wheel Drive. Outside footage showed a thin man walking along the side of a house, staring through a kitchen window, then hiding behind a tree until a dog barked and he took off. On February 6th, an officer in an unmarked car spotted a man running from a yard on that same street. He matched the earlier videos. Officers stopped him and identified him as 27-year-old Donovan Rashad Johnson, a local bankruptcy attorney. He was cited for window peeping, put on a GPS tether, later tied to more incidents, and eventually picked up multiple misdemeanor convictions and a suspension of his law license. A doorbell camera looked out over a quiet front porch late at night. For a while, nothing moved except the usual shadows at the edge of the frame. Then a man walked up the driveway holding a box. It was a plain rectangular parcel, tucked under one arm, the way a delivery worker might carry it. He stepped onto the porch and rang the bell. On camera, he waited close to the door, the box still in his hands. Inside, the homeowner came to the door and cracked it open just enough to look out. The man said the package was for that address and held it out, like he was making a normal delivery.
Yo.
Yes, this package.
I don't have a package. Get out of here! Get out!
The homeowner told him he wasn't expecting anything. Then the man moved. He shifted his weight forward and shoved against the door, trying to force it open and push his way in. The homeowner stumbled but reacted fast, driving his shoulder into the door and slamming it shut. He turned away, taking the box with him, and disappeared off the porch and out of frame. The homeowner called police and handed over the footage, proof that this wasn't a harmless mix-up at the wrong address, but a fake delivery used as cover for an attempted break-in. It was just after 6 in the morning when a Ring camera sent out a motion alert. Outside, in the rain, a woman walked up to the front door and pressed the bell. On the footage, her posture is the first strange thing. She stands very still, facing the camera, with her mouth held wide open. She doesn't speak, doesn't call out, just keeps her jaw open in a way that looks uncomfortable. For a few seconds, she closes it, then opens it again. She waits like that on the porch. No one comes to the door. After a short time, she turns away and walks back off into the rain, disappearing from the frame. The homeowner later shared the clip online, where it was reposted to multiple subreddits. In the comments, people tried to make sense of it. Some thought they were looking at the aftermath of an injury or medical problem. Others pointed to heavy intoxication or a sleep medication effect, while a few suggested mental health issues. Those theories are guesses based on a few seconds of video. No one in the thread could say who she was, why her mouth was held that way, or what she actually wanted at the door that morning, only that she came, rang once, and left as quietly as she arrived. Around mid-2022, a short security clip from a quiet backyard started bouncing around TikTok and paranormal pages. It came from a woman named Mandy, who said the footage was taken on cameras outside her own home. In the video, her backyard and rear door sat in frame, dimly lit but still. There was no person standing at the door, no one walking across the scene. First, a soft, distant whistling can be heard. A few moments later, a low voice came through the camera mic. After that first clip, she started watching her security feeds much more carefully. In later recordings, she said one camera caught someone lingering near her back shed, and on another night, a hooded figure slowly walked into the yard and stared up at the house. According to an interview later quoted by the media, Mandy said the figure was standing below her bedroom window, the same room where she and her baby were at the time. There's still no solid public explanation. Today, the original upload is gone, and only reposts and reaction videos remain, just a backyard, a closed door, and a voice on the audio track asking to be let inside. In the early hours of August 26, 2023, a quiet street in Bowling Green, Ohio, was interrupted by a single ring of a doorbell. The home on Champaign Avenue had a Ring camera pointed straight at the front door. The footage shows a masked man walking up and pressing the bell. He doesn't wait on the porch. By the time the door opens, he's moved out into the street and is just standing there, facing the house. The resident later told police he woke up to the sound, opened the door, and saw that figure in the road staring directly back at him. No one speaks on the clip. It's just the porch light, the empty steps, and the man in a mask holding his ground a short distance away. Afterward, he handed the video over to the Bowling Green Police Division. Investigators released the images and asked for the public's help identifying the man. Police said they didn't know yet if this was somebody playing a twisted prank or something more serious. As of the last reports, the man in the video still hadn't been identified. It was Halloween night in a quiet neighborhood. A Ring camera looked out over a driveway, a front porch, and a small patch of lawn lit by decorations and a bowl of candy left out for trick-or-treaters. Then a golf cart rolled into view. 2 people were riding in it, one in lighter clothing, one in darker, as it slowed to a stop near the edge of the driveway. The person in light clothing climbed out with a bag in hand and started walking toward the house. For a second, it looked like a normal visit, just someone coming up while the car idled nearby. But the cart didn't stay still. Left unattended, it began to roll forward on its own, drifting away from where it had stopped. At first, it moved slowly. By the time either of them noticed, it was already cutting across the driveway, heading straight toward the side of the house. One of them shouted, and both ran after it.
Marico, ven, ayúdame. No, no puedo. Marico, no. Ven, apúrate, ven. Marico, cae.
They reached out, trying to grab the car or jump back on, but they were a couple of steps too late. The camera caught the moment it made contact. The golf cart bumped into the outdoor AC unit beside the house with a clear jolt, shifting the metal housing before coming to a stop. For a moment, they just stood and looked at the mess they'd made. Then they scrambled back onto the cart, backed away from the house, and drove off out of frame. Later, when the homeowner checked the footage, the cause of the damage beside the house was obvious.